One. Hi, this is Lindsay Arnold with Your Local News, and today we're going to be talking with a guy that is a rental owner in the area of Kingman, Arizona. Here he is, Greg Arnold. Hello, Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg Arnold, and as you can tell by the way I'm dressed, I'm a landlord that buys older places and fixes them up. These are my construction clothes. I've done that multiple times, and it has been profitable. What is most important to realize is supply and demand. When you have a healthy price structure where the landlord makes a good profit, they'll continue to buy more rentals, and then that provides I call it volume in the city, to where people that cannot afford to buy a house can affordably rent. Now, where I live in Kingman, the city or the governing agencies do not control the price of rentals. It's strictly based on supply and demand and the market conditions. In 2006-ish, when the economy crashed, that was very unique because you had a lot of people foreclose on their houses, and therefore there were a lot of people who owned their houses who lost their homes and needed places to rent. So even though it was a poor economy, rent prices still held up because there were a lot of people that had the money to rent, although they had just lost their house.
Right.
Having said that, if you're ever in a situation where landlords, for whatever reasons, cannot make a fair profit on rentals, they often will cut corners on maintenance, and it kind of hurts everybody.
Right.
So your most important thing is to let the market drive pricing. So if you choose to purchase rentals where people have jobs and can stay employed, they will make their monthly rent payments. My strategy is to study market value of rentals through various realtors I know that also have rentals. Nice. and rental agencies.
Okay.
And whatever the market value is, and I'll give you an example. This one house I have in Kingman, the first one I bought, is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's perfect for a young couple just starting out, or maybe a single mom with 1 child, or even 2 children, because it's only 2-bedroom. Right now, market value on that house is about $625 a month. I'm only charging $575. I charge slightly below market value, and yet I'm very picky on screening, because that allows me to get a good tenant, and then they will stay in the home. Because for me, whenever tenants come and go, you always end up with clean up, and you might have a month or 2 where there's somebody not in the house, and then you lose several months' rent. So it's I have found it's more profitable to charge slightly below market value, get a good tenant, and keep them for several years. If prices, monthly rent rates drop, and yet interest rates go up, and a lot of landlords have bought their houses on times, it puts a squeeze on the landlord, because he's buying new units at a higher interest rate, but yet at the same time he's getting less rent. At that point, what can happen is landlords typically are just investors. They choose rentals because of tax write-offs. You're allowed to write off the maintenance on the property, capital improvements, and things that you don't get to write off when you own stocks as an investment.
Okay. So
there's a double way to make a profit in rentals. One is that you buy the house right, and that if you have a mortgage on the house, and let's say that's $400 a month and you're charging $600, well, that's $200 a month profit after you pay the mortgage.
Okay.
Then you've got maintenance, insurance, and things like that. Very shrewd landlords will just wait until the housing prices significantly drop, like what happened in 2006, 2007, and then just buy houses for very cheap. Buy the same houses that people foreclosed on, fix them up, and then they're in for a low amount of money, a low initial capital investment is what I would call that. And that's the way that we did it, fixer-uppers.
I was a part of that. Lots of work.
And so having said that, I'll just conclude this by saying that if you're an investor, whether it's stocks or rentals or real estate, raw land, the best way for everyone is when the market is driven by supply and demand and a minimum amount of government intrusiveness or governing agencies trying to drive a market in a certain direction by government laws, because there will always be unintended consequences that
Everyone
could hurt
loses.
somebody else. Thank you, and I hope I've answered all your questions.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice night.
That was awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. That explained a lot of things in the chapter with the rental and what we learned about that. So thank you.
Okay, have a nice night. Bye-bye.
You too.